Welcome to the Rum Revival. My name's Arminder, I'm drinking rum, and I hope you are too. Let's talk about newly released rums. The last couple of weeks have seen a number of notable releases, and I figured, hey, why don't we start like an ongoing series covering new releases? Just something to kind of keep you on top of all the latest and greatest. But this will probably end up being more of a monthly thing, just given the typical volume of releases. And note, this is all stuff that's just become available in the US, or at least in parts of the US. When it comes to the rest of the world, they've probably already gotten their hands on this stuff. We tend to be the last ones to get releases. Not jealous at all. Let's start off with the newest from Foursquare Rum Distillery in Barbados, their latest exceptional cask selection series, Touchstone. Now this is their 22nd release in the series, and the focus of the series, of course, is like blending and maturation. And usually these releases are blends of both pot and calm still molasses-based rums that have been aged in a mix of ex-bourbon and some other kind of barrel, some sort of fun exotic barrel. Now Foursquare usually releases a couple of these a year. Now Touchstone is a blend of two different 14-year-old rums. Each of the rums were first aged in ex-bourbon barrels for a couple of years and then aged a couple of years in ex-cognac casks. Now it was bottled at 61% ABV, so you know it's like a light, easy, breezy sipper. So far I've only had a quick taste, but I was impressed, and I'm looking forward to kind of really diving into it a little more. You know, it's kind of interesting. I think I've had a lot of ex-cognac cask rums lately. Up next, we have Kamakara. This is a Indian cane juice rum. Now they claim it's India's very first pure cane juice rum, which is pretty cool given India's history with sugarcane. Though I think they probably mean like first commercially available cane juice rum, because I'm pretty sure over the last decades or centuries there have been uncles who have made cane juice moonshine for sure. So it's been aged 12 years in ex-bourbon barrels and then bottled at 50% ABV. Now the rum is made by Piccadilly Distilleries out in Patiala in Punjab. Now Piccadilly makes a couple of different Indian whiskeys. Now, I haven't had those, but I did get to try a couple pours of Kamakara, and I get a lot of like dry hay and some red hots, like those cinnamon candies, and definitely a lot of wood. Now, given the age, 12 years of aging, this is much more of a barrel forward rum than it is a cane forward rum. But I'm excited to kind of see where they go with the brand and if we get different releases. And in general, I hope we get more Indian rums here in the US. Then we got the latest from Rum GM, their Terroir Volcanique. It's a blend of different cane juice rums that have been aged 3 years in new American oak barrels that have varying levels of pretty high char. So the emphasis here is definitely on wood-derived flavors. And this is another rum that's the brainchild of their cellar master, Queen LaSalle. She was behind their Jardin Fruit, which I reviewed, I don't know, like a couple months back. And the folks behind the band, Spiritbomb, have been kind of touring the country the last like week or two, doing kind of release parties for the rum. So it may have already come through your town, or it may soon come through your town. I believe the official release date is April 22nd. So something to kind of pick up in the next couple of weeks. Now that's everything that should be fairly widely available throughout the States, or soon to be throughout the States. But let's move on to a section that I'm calling like the FOMO section, because these are going to be all kind of fun, unique single barrel selections. Given the nature of single barrel selections, these are very limited and usually only available to one retailer in one specific region of the country. So unless you happen to live near the retailer or live in a state or states that they will ship to, chances are you're not going to be able to try this rum. So let's start off with the latest release from independent bottler Holmes Cay. Now this is a single cask selection by Martin Cate for his legendary bar Smuggler's Cove in San Francisco. Now the pick is pretty cool. It's rum from Demerara Distillers in Guyana, specifically their Versailles wooden pot still. And this was distilled in 2012, aged 10 years in ex-bourbon casks. Now what I don't know is if it was aged in Guyana or in Europe or a combination of both. That being said, I'm pretty sure it's going to be good given my previous experiences with Smuggler's Cove barrel picks. Apparently Martin Cate has a bit of a palate. Who would have thought? Now their last release that they did in terms of single barrel selection at Smuggler's Cove was a Rolling Fork Barbados rum, and that was amazing. Now if you can't visit Smuggler's Cove, Bitters and Bottles in South San Francisco will ship it to you pretty much anywhere in California, so hopefully you live in California or you know someone that does. Speaking of barrel selections for bar, Kanya Rum Bar in LA has a single barrel selection of KoHana rum, specifically their Kila Cane juice rum made from the Paca Valley cane varietal. Now what's really exciting about this release, besides the fact that it's 60% ABV, is that it's aged 2.5 years in ex-Woodford rye casks. Now I haven't had it yet, but the last time KoHana released a rye-aged cane juice rum, I absolutely loved it. Like it was phenomenal. Like I still think about that rum. I mean, I actually still have a couple of drops left in the bottle, and I can't get myself to actually drink it. It's been like a year and a half where I've just had like just this much left. Just don't want to live in a world where I don't have access to that rum anymore. Now, besides getting to try it at Kanye, you can actually get your hands on it at K&L Wines. They'll ship anywhere in California, so something to keep an eye for. I think they have very limited quantity. Yeah, I know there was a bit of like a West Coast bias here, but that's where I live. Hopefully in future videos I can cover releases from other parts of the country. Well, there you go. These are all new releases for the middle of April. Let's do this again in a couple of weeks, huh? Cheers.